The courtroom is quiet, the kind of quiet that only happens when something big is about to go down. People are sitting in their seats, trying to stay still, but you can feel the tension in the air. It's a typical day in court, except today something feels different. The famous pop icon Cher has arrived. She walks into the room with confidence, her trademark long black hair flowing behind her. She's dressed in a simple but elegant outfit, but there's no mistaking her. Even though she's a star, today she's just another person in the courtroom. The buzz of whispers starts to die down as everyone notices her. But Cher doesn't seem to notice the eyes on her. She walks straight to the front, her face serious but calm. She's here for business, not for fame. At the judge's bench, Judge Thompson, a man with decades of experience, watches as she sits down. He's known for being tough. Some say he has a reputation for not being very kind to people who think they're above the law. He's been watching Cher since she entered, and now his gaze sharpens. The courtroom settles into silence as Judge Thompson gets ready to speak. You can almost feel the room holding its breath, waiting for him to say something. He clears his throat and begins, not just addressing Cher but the entire room. Everyone leans in, eager to hear what will happen next. It's a big moment. A courtroom drama is unfolding, and the only question is how will it end? Judge Thompson clears his throat again, glancing down at his papers as if he's trying to decide what to say next. The courtroom is so still, you can hear the clock ticking on the wall. Cher sits there waiting, eyes forward, showing no sign of nervousness, but the judge doesn't seem interested in getting straight to the point. "Miss Cher," Judge Thompson says with a sarcastic smile, leaning forward in his chair. "It's not every day we get someone like you in this courtroom. Tell me, how does it feel to go from a glamorous stage to the cold hard truth of the law?" A few people in the room chuckle lightly, as if they're waiting for a punchline. Cher's face doesn't change, her lips stay pressed together in a calm, almost unreadable way. The judge continues, his tone dripping with mockery. "I'm sure you're used to being surrounded by fans, photographers, and maybe even a few $1 million deals, but here it's all about fairness and justice. No special treatment, not even for a star like you." The judge looks over his glasses at Cher, eyes twinkling with a mix of amusement and arrogance. The room grows tense. The audience, lawyers, and even Cher's attorney are waiting to see how she will react. They expect her to be upset, maybe even angry. After all, the judge is publicly belittling her, a woman who's had a lifetime of success and fame. But Judge Thompson isn't finished yet. He leans back in his chair, still looking at Cher as though he's waiting for her to say something. He adds, "I wonder, do you ever forget that you're just like the rest of us when you walk into a room, or do you always expect the spotlight to follow you?" This time a few more people chuckle, including the bailiff who's standing near the door. The judge's words are designed to put Cher in her place, to remind her that no matter how famous she is, she's still just another person in the court of law. Cher's attorney looks uncomfortable, shifting in his seat, but he stays quiet. He knows better than to interrupt the judge. But Cher, she doesn't look rattled. She stays calm, her hands resting on the table in front of her. The judge smiles, sensing his words have made their mark. He's not just poking fun, he's sending a message. You may be a star, but in this courtroom you're no different from anyone else. The room waits for Cher to respond. Some people might expect her to fight back, to raise her voice. Others think she'll just stay silent. Either way, everyone is curious about how the Queen of Pop will handle this moment. Cher sits perfectly still, her gaze never wavering from the judge. It's as if she's hearing his words, but they're not affecting her the way they should. Inside though, she's feeling a mix of emotions. Shock. Disbelief. Maybe even a bit of anger. She's used to being in the public eye, but she's never been treated like this, especially not by someone in authority. For a moment, she wonders if she should just keep quiet, let it slide, and play it safe. After all, she's always had to choose her battles carefully. Maybe this isn't worth fighting. Maybe the judge will just continue making snide remarks, and the best thing would be to stay calm and let him tire himself out. But that doesn't feel right. She shifts slightly in her seat, her fingers tapping lightly on the table in front of her. The noise is small, but in the silence of the room, it sounds loud. Her eyes flicker briefly toward her attorney, who is sitting to her side. He's looking at her now, waiting for her to make a move. He knows she's capable of handling herself, but there's a nervous edge in his expression. He's clearly worried about how this will play out. Cher's thoughts race. She's been a fighter her entire life, not just in her career but in every part of her journey. From the moment she first stepped onto a stage, she had to fight against the odds. She didn't become the icon she is by letting people walk all over her. She's faced criticism before, even from the public, but this feels different. This feels personal. As the judge continues to stare at her, waiting for a response, Cher can feel the weight of the moment. She knows she can't let this go, not without saying something. She takes a slow, steady breath, her lips pressing together into a thin line. She's going to respond. But how? Her mind is made up. No more silence. No more letting people think they can talk to her like this. The courtroom falls even quieter as Cher takes a deep breath. Her chest rises and falls slowly, and for a split second it feels like time itself has slowed down. Everyone's eyes are on her now, waiting. Even Judge Thompson, who had been so confident just moments ago, watches her expectantly. He probably thought he had won, that his words had put her in her place. But that's when Cher makes her move. She leans forward, resting her hands on the table in front of her. Her voice breaks the silence, steady and firm. "Judge, I've spent my whole life in the public eye. I know what it's like to have people judge me, criticize me and make fun of me. But you are not the public. And this is not a stage." There's a sharpness in her voice, a clarity that cuts through the tension in the room. For the first time since she walked in, she sounds like someone who knows exactly what she's doing. And it's not to entertain. It's to take control of the situation. Judge Thompson blinks, clearly not expecting this response. He adjusts his glasses and looks at her with an expression that says he's surprised but still ready to keep going. But Cher doesn't back down. She keeps her gaze locked on his, her posture now straighter, more powerful. "You may not respect me, but I'm here to do something that's bigger than any joke you could make at my expense." Cher continues, her tone calm but filled with a quiet strength. "I'm here to fight for what's right, just like everyone else in this room." Her words hit harder than any punch, and for a moment the entire courtroom seems to hold its breath. There's no laughter this time, no smug smiles. Even the judge seems to pause, as if he's unsure how to respond. His earlier arrogance has faded, and he's left with the weight of her words. Cher looks around the courtroom, her eyes sweeping over the people in the room. The lawyers, the bailiff, the jurors, all of them are watching her now. They aren't just looking at Cher the pop star, they're seeing Cher the person, someone who is standing up for herself in the face of disrespect. She's no longer a celebrity in a courtroom, she's a human being demanding to be treated with dignity. "I don't need your respect," Cher says, her voice now a little louder, more commanding. "But you will treat me like you would treat anyone else. We're here for justice, not for games. If you can't do that, then maybe you're in the wrong job." Her words are simple, but they cut through the room like a blade. Everyone can feel the shift. Cher is no longer the target of the judge's jokes. She's taken control, and the room knows it. Even the judge seems to hesitate before speaking again. He clears his throat and adjusts his position in his chair. For the first time his voice is more cautious. "Miss Cher, but Cher interrupts him. "I'm not done yet," she says, her voice unwavering. "I didn't come here to play along with your little games. I came here for something serious, and I'm not going to let you distract me from that." The judge pauses, then slowly nods, his expression changing. It's not quite respect, but it's something close. The power dynamic in the room has shifted. Cher is no longer the one on the defensive. In this moment, she's taken control, and it's clear to everyone watching that the judge now has to reckon with her strength. There's a long silence, but this time it's different. It's not uncomfortable. It's respectful. Everyone knows that something has changed. Cher has fought back, and the judge, once so confident, has been forced to reconsider how he handles her. After Cher's powerful words, the mood in the courtroom is completely different. The energy has shifted. The judge, who once ruled the room with arrogance, now seems smaller. It's as if he's realized that his earlier remarks have backfired. There's no smirk on his face anymore, just a thoughtful look, as if he's carefully considering his next words. The room is so quiet, you can hear the shuffle of papers as the court stenographer quickly types down everything that's been said. The lawyers exchange uneasy glances, but no one dares to speak. All eyes are on Cher, and it's clear that she's regained control. She's no longer the one who's being mocked. The judge may still be in charge, but he's been put in his place, forced to acknowledge her strength. Cher's posture is straight, confident, but there's a subtle calmness to her now. It's as if she knows she's won the battle, even though the case is far from over. The judge, who once tried to undermine her, now looks like he's considering her words carefully. There's no more sarcasm in his tone. When he speaks next, his voice is quieter, more respectful. "You're right, miss," Cher's Judge Thompson says, his tone softening. "This is a place for justice, not for personal jokes. I'll treat you as I would any other person in this courtroom." For a moment, Cher doesn't say anything. She just nods slightly, acknowledging his words. There's no need for further conversation. She's already made her point clear, and it's clear to everyone else in the room as well. The shift in power is undeniable. The judge has gone from mocking her to offering her respect. The audience, the lawyers, and everyone else in the courtroom can feel it. Cher has taken control of the situation, and now the courtroom has become a space where her voice matters. She's not just the celebrity under scrutiny anymore, she's someone who demands to be taken seriously. The judge's earlier confidence has turned into caution. He knows that Cher won't be intimidated, and that in itself changes everything in the courtroom. As the moment lingers, the weight of Cher's words settles over the courtroom. The judge, now more careful in his approach, proceeds with the case, but the atmosphere has shifted. The power dynamic has completely changed. Cher isn't just here to participate in a legal matter, she's standing her ground, and in that moment, she has won the respect of everyone in the room. The judge, though still in control of the case, no longer holds the same authority he once had. He's been humbled, and though he tries to regain his earlier composure, it's clear that the game has changed. Cher's strength is undeniable. Her ability to calmly and confidently stand up for herself has left a lasting impression. As the session moves forward, the respect in the room is palpable. Even Cher's lawyer seems more relaxed, sensing that the balance of power has shifted in their favor. The judge's tone remains professional, but there's no denying that the mockery he initially showed has turned into something resembling caution. For Cher, this is a quiet victory, but it's still a victory. She didn't need to shout or demand attention. She simply needed to be herself and assert her right to be treated with dignity. She has shown that no matter the setting, whether it's a stage or a courtroom, she won't be underestimated. And as the hearing continues, the message is clear. Cher has proven that when it comes to standing up for what's right, she's not just a star, she's a force to be reckoned with. The judge may have underestimated her, but now no one in that room will ever forget the power of her words.